iBankEx is web-based. It has a calendar view with year selection. Each row represents a month, and the cell represents a day. It uses bar glyph and pie glyph to show the amount of each transaction, and uses color to represent category. There is a transaction amount view and a cluster view. There is a table view showing the detailed data. Brush and linking is supported, which means the user can select the data on a scatter plot, and the other three views will update. The selected data has color, and the others are gray. Both x-axis and the y-axis can use logarithmic scale or linear scale. User can use the sliders to change the range. The brusher can also be adjusted. The style of the color and axis ticks are consistent. You can cancel the selection by clicking the empty place. Tooltip and table are for the detail on demand. The transactions are clustered by the server with the user-defined option. Similar transaction descriptions are also in the same description group. The user can click the color legend to highlight the transactions. The frequency of each transaction description group are also calculated by the server, which shows the number of transactions per month. You can highlight the one-time transactions by the switch button. You can expand the calendar view and use superposition mode to show the transactions of all the years on the same page. The bars can be reordered. For example, reorder them by the frequency in ascending order. The width of the bars can be set to the same. The height can be logarithmic or linear. The radius of the pie can be set linear or logarithmic to represent the total transaction amount of the day. Polar area glyph shows the transaction amount of each category by its slice, and star glyph shows the transaction amount of each cluster by its bars. They both support linear and logarithmic radius. If you use local scale, the maximum radius of a slice or bars will be the same as the half of the day container width. User can swap the axis of the scatter plots, and can expand these views. Clicking on the other views can also cancel the selection. User can choose what the color in the cluster view represents, and also choose the axis value. The color in the table is synchronized with the selection's color. User can choose which page to show in the table, and sort the rows by clicking the column name. The number of rows to show in each page can also be changed. The user can scroll the table. The Clear All button in the table can also cancel the selection. Color legends can also be sorted. This case study shows the usefulness of iBankEx for understanding the data. Paycheck transactions will be explored from the overview to the detail. First, turn on the superposition mode and expand the calendar view. Obviously, there are many orange bars at the end of each month. By clicking the paycheck category, the orange bars are rendered using color and the others are using grayscale. Let's switch to the star glyph, which shows the transaction amount of each cluster of each day. Most transactions are in the cluster 0, but the transactions happened in September 20th are in the cluster 1. Let's fold the calendar view and set the x-axis of the cluster view to represent transaction amount with logarithmic scale. And sort the rows in the detail table by cluster ID in descending order. The paycheck transaction, which is clustered as 1, is because it's low transaction amount. Let's sort the rows by description group and expand the table view. The paycheck transaction, whose description group is 25, happened 7 times a month, and those whose description group is 79 happened around 2 times a month. This difference might be caused by the incorrectness of transaction description grouping. Let's change the color legend of the cluster view to represent description group, and highlight the description group 25 and 79. Some transactions whose description is similar to the description of the university payment are clustered in the same group, which makes the frequency calculated too high. Both paycheck and supplementary income transactions from Swansea University are also in the same description group. Let's use transaction description to group the transactions. Choose the paycheck transaction again. Expand the table view. Sort by frequency and scroll down. Now the frequency of the paycheck transactions are around 1, which means this person has stable income. Let's expand the transaction amount view and zoom in along the y-axis. As we can see, there's a paycheck transaction with higher transaction amount than the others. Let's select it by the brusher and fold the transaction amount view. The detail of the selected transaction is displayed in the table view.